ASME B36.10. This is the most commonly used standard in piping industry. It covers the standardization of dimensions, okay, for welded and seamless wrought steel pipe for high as well as low temperature pressures. Now, before going into details of this standard, we need to understand this welded and seamless wrought steel pipe. If we understand this, then only it is beneficial. Sometimes we don't care about the headings. We can directly go to uses of this standard, but let us try to understand what is these three words. Okay, in this video what we are going to cover, we'll try to understand these three terms. Then we'll try to cover manufacturing process of welded as well as seamless pipes. We'll just spend 2-3 minutes on this. Then we'll try to understand how welded pipes are different from seamless pipes. Okay, then our main agenda of this presentation of this video is 36.10, where we are going to cover pipe sizes, material, inside outside diameter, wall thickness, weights, wall thickness designation, wall thickness selection. Okay, so this is the whole agenda for this video. Before going into details for B36.10, we'll cover these things first. Okay, so let's start with the video. If you see, let us first understand the science behind processed steel. Okay, how we are going to process the steel. We'll just spend 2-3 minutes because this is just related to our topic but not actual topic. Okay, if you see what is wrought, it is just an adjective that means molded, shaped or manufactured. Okay, so wrought steel is most often used to describe the shaping, altering, molding and manufactured steel. Okay, so this is just a term. How we are going to use the next steps and how we are going up to the end product, that is what we are going to see next. Now converting, if you see here, we are having iron and coke mixture, which is a raw material, and when we heat it into a furnace at very high temperature, okay, from heated coal, this is melted into liquid substance and then blasted with oxygen to create the molten steel. So this is the first step. Okay, this is very raw stage, furnace heated, and we are getting a molten steel. Now this material is cooled into ingots, large castings of steel for storing and transportation material. Okay, ingots we are getting here. We have cooled it down into larger pieces so that we can store it as well as we can transport it. Okay, so this is the first step. Later on, what we are doing, some ingots are passed through the steel rollers, then stretched into a thinner, longer pieces to create blooms, intermediates between steel and iron. Okay, we are converting into blooms or slabs. Then only the next step, where we are going to get the welded pipe and seamless pipe. So this is the first step, how we are getting the actual steel to get the welded pipe and stainless steel. Okay, so this was just an overview of background. Now after melting the raw material and then we have cooled down the melted material into ingots, then only we'll be able to generate end product, for example our welded pipe or seamless pipe. Now let us try to understand how we are getting these pipes. First of all, welded pipes start with the slab. Okay, we try to roll it between a rolling machine and we elongate the pipe through the roller. Okay, then welding happen inside and outside, both side. Okay, so there are two categories, welded pipe, and then we have a special category inside welded only, electric resistance welded. When we pass high frequency electric current, then it causes them to melt and fuse together. We are not adding any fusion matter here, so weld seam may not be visible or felt. Okay, it looks like seamless pipe only, but it is the welded one. At the same time, when we are doing the submerged arc welding, then these seam will be visible and we have to do the cleaning activity, and in most of the cases we have to go for heat treatment also. So this is just a basic how we are generating welded pipe from a slab. Okay. At the same time, what is happening for seamless pipe? Process begins as a solid cylinder. Okay, when we had received the ingots with us, we converted into billets, okay, which are pierced through the center with a mandrel. Okay, here we are heating, then we are piercing it from the center with the help of mandrel. Okay, then rolling and stretching the hollow billet into until it meets the length, diameter and wall thickness as specified. Okay, first we are piercing it. Okay, then we are rolling and stretching it so that the hollow pipe is received. So seamless pipe is preferred over welded for very high pressure and temperature requirement. Okay, wherever these requirements are there, we go for seamless as compared to welded one. At the same time, while rolling and stretching, these seamless pipe may have inconsistent wall thickness. So this is a small drawback. So we need to take care of this thing while manufacturing seamless pipe. Okay, we need to discuss with the clients with how much this much is acceptable or not. So this is how we are getting EWR and manufacturing the seamless pipes. So now let us come to the main agenda. We are discussing 36.10 ASME standard, which is very common in piping industry, and as we have discussed, this is standardization of dimensions of any welded, seamless or rod pipe steel. Okay, whatever we are using for high or low temperature pressure applications, this is just a standardization of dimensions. Now what are basic dimensions in pipe? Outside diameter, inside diameter, wall thickness. Okay, then wall thickness designations, and how we are going to select the final thickness. So for this purpose we are using this 36.10. Okay, one more point, materials. This standard says whatever products are covered in ASTM specification, those products only this standard is applicable. So this is just a correlation between two standards. Whatever materials are products are covered in ASTM specification, for those this standard is applicable. Okay, so now let us see how we can use this standard. What are the various things we have to look into. First of all, let us divide the pipe sizes between two parts, below 14 and above 14 inch, 14 and above. Okay, for 2 inch for example, which is less than 14 inch size, if you see the outside diameters 60.3. okay, these all sizes are mentioned. uh, these are SI units, these are inches. If you see, if you multiply 2 into 25.4, this figure is more than that. Okay, above 14 inch, if you see, if you multiply 16, for example 16 inch size with 25.4 to convert it into millimeters, you will get the exact figure. Okay, so below 14, this is always more than that. So you don't have to you cannot calculate, you have to remember these figures, or you have to refer this standard to get the outside diameter for all these sizes up to 14 inch. Above 14 inch you can multiply by 25.4 and you will get this figure, so you can calculate the outside diameter. Now let us look into the schedule numbers. Now against each and every size, schedule numbers are mentioned in this standard. Against each and every schedule number there will be some wall thickness. Now we have a standard fixed outside diameter for all the schedules. More higher the schedule, more will be the thickness. More thickness, that means inside diameter is decreasing. Keeping outside same, increase in thickness, wall thickness will get us lesser inside diameter. So this is the main thing which we need to remember. Inside diameter will keep on decreasing with increase in thickness. At the same time, what we are getting here is the weight, mass per meter, kg per meter, it is mentioned against each and every size. So these are the standard dimensions which will be applicable globally for each and every size, 14 inch and below, 14 inch, 14 inch and above. So these are the dimensions which we are getting in this standard. Okay, so now why we require this thickness? To sustain the inside pressure. Now for each and every plant there will be some specification, some specific requirement from client, process requirements will be there, so we need to calculate the wall thickness. There is a standard procedure for calculating the thickness that is mentioned in 31.3, which is piping code process for process industry. While using that standard, we need to calculate those thicknesses, and we have to come back to this standard, and we have to check where we are lying, which should, if even if we are falling between 5 and 10, then we have to go for higher one. Okay, so again, first you have to check the requirement, minimum thickness we'll calculate, then we'll check into this standard which where we are lying, which pipe. For example, for 2-inch pipe it is coming around 2.6, then we'll go for schedule 10 2.77. okay, so higher one we'll select. So that way we are using the selection through 36.10. okay, so this is the major uses. We can use this standard to get the exact figures, and we can standardize the dimensions in our piping industry. Here just have a look, we have index here for all the videos available on this channel. We have 3 section: oil and gas, fundas. Now today's section we have covered here only. So in this part we have, in this section we have 16 videos, longer videos. Then we started 2-minute funda where we are covering 140 topics. In next slide also we'll get the index. Then recently we started the work culture series also, where we talked about email etiquettes, 10 golden rules, handling flaming in the emails, email subject line, formal versus casual, postscript, signature, how to write email signature. So something good about email you can learn here. Then we covered this topic where we are covering the cover letter, why it is required, what is the format, actual letter for piping designer. One cover letter we actually prepared considering 5-year experience of a particular piping designer. Then we covered one freelancing concept where we talked about do's and don'ts uh, while creating the profile on any of the freelancing platform. Then we actually created a profile for piping designers, and we try to look into one of the platforms how many jobs are available, how we can apply, and how we can get the jobs. So these are things which are available on this platform. In 2-minute series funda we are covering the topic in 2 minutes, and we have already covered more than 125, around 140 topics we have already covered. Those all are available. You can search out the funda, any funda with the funda number. Just write in the search box 2-minute funda dash this number, and you will get the particular topic. Okay, so these all topics are available. Three headings are there: 2-minute funda series, work culture series, and oil and gas funda, where we are getting the longer videos. So this is all about we are having here. These are rest of the list for, we have to covered 140 topics. This is the index of all the videos. 2-minute funda series, these are all 2-minute topic. In most of the cases we are trying to cover in 2 minutes, but sometime it reaches up to 3 or 3.5 minutes just to cover the important points. So this is all about we are having on this platform, on this channel. I'm sure you are enjoying and learning few things. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Keep sharing knowledge. Thank you very much.